I know many of us are used to hearing that you should never be the smartest person in the room. That if you're the smartest person in a room, then you don't belong in that room. You should find another room. That saying is both true and false. This video, I'm going to give you 5 habits that ensure that you're always the smartest person in the room. And I'm also going to give you tips and tricks on how to behave in powerful rooms around powerful people in powerful settings. So you won't want to miss out. But first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Kareen Allude Mental Gems. This channel is dedicated to leveling up in all areas of your life. So let us learn together, read together, but most importantly, grow together. Without further ado, let's jump into this video. Being the smartest person in the room doesn't mean you're the richest person in the room, the most educated person in the room in terms of degrees, etc. It's quite the opposite. And as I give you these 5 ways that you're going to be the smartest person in the room, you tell me if you understand what I'm saying. With number 1 being, you listen more than you speak. Observe the room. Have a genuine fascination for people in different industries. And it is always better to listen than to speak, to observe than to act, right? It's better to not be the center of attention in a room and allow someone else to be the center of attention while you're taking it all in. There is a time and a place for that. A lot of people think that when they get into a room with a whole bunch of powerful people and people of affluence, etc., that they must like assert themselves or show that they are worthy and belong in this space and must, make a statement, stand out, etc., where it's quite the opposite. Confidence and knowing you belong in a place is not always loud. You don't have to take up the whole room and exert yourself and assert yourself in a room either. Oftentimes, you'll find that typically the person that is the quietest in the corner, kind of watching and observing, usually tends to be the person that has a little bit more money, that's a little bit more well-learned, traveled, cultured, that probably is the most interesting person in the room, that has a lot more to offer. And usually the loud ones, the showy ones, the one that does all the talking, mingling around, usually don't have either of those things. Of course, there's always exception to the rules. None of these things are all facts for everyone. One easy way for you to actually stand out is by doing the opposite. When you get into social settings with people that may be a little bit intimidating, or you're new in a space, or it's affluent or powerful, the best thing I find to do is to be more chill, more calm, walk slower. Don't enter the room walking really fast, trying to find a seat. And when you walk fast paced, it can be linked to a lack of confidence. You don't want to be seen. You almost feel like you don't belong. But if you take your time, you're quiet, you're observing, you're not really making a scene, but you're taking your time to walk a little slower. Do you guys notice how sirens walk when they walk into the room, or even the villain in a Batman movie or something, or the villain in those old classic 1940s movies, the men, right? The powerful masculine men, they kind of walk into the room, gauging it, looking around, taking their time with everything, taking a swig, things like that. They're just kind of more slow paced. There's no rush. I belong here. You're confident, you're chill, but they're not doing a lot of talking, but they're also not just shrinking themselves. They're taking their time and taking space to sit. That automatically makes you stand out, and everyone in the room wants to know, who is this person? They seem very sure with themselves. It's a way to put spotlight on you without putting spotlight on you, if that makes sense, right? Number 2 is you're eager to learn and understand that the more you learn, the less you know. You read more, watch documentaries, seek wisdom, okay? One thing that's always gonna make you the smartest in the room is a genuine eagerness to learn about people. When you get into a room, when you talk to people, especially powerful people, they love to talk about themselves, very narcissistic, most of them, but that's everybody. That's in How to Win Friends, Influence People. We love to hear the sound of our name. Psychology has proven that. We love to talk about things that interest us. And if you're a person that can win people over by giving them that space to express themselves or reveal a little something about themselves, they will have loyalty to you no matter what. But you have to have a genuine interest to want to know about the person and not have it faked, or, like it looks like you're trying to use a tactic from a book you read and asking questions like it's an interview. It has to be naturally like, where are you from? Oh, okay. How long have you lived there? And then have follow-up questions. Practice the art of conversation. I can do a separate video for you guys on the art of conversation. Comment below if you guys would want that, but I can kind of tell you guys how to lead into it and making small talk, especially coming from someone who is extremely shy as myself, right? So having a genuine interest to learn outside of social settings in your own private life, your personal life, you're not just watching things that aren't really substantial or teaching you anything, but just kind of putting you in chaos, celebrity gossip, or all you consume your time with is Real Housewives or something like that, I'm using those examples, then you're not really having much to talk about, or you're not really getting edified much, right? But on your private life, personal life, you're constantly reading self-help books or books about different genres, life, nature, beauty, fashion, culinary, whatever the interest is. You have a genuine interest to learn. You're watching travel documentaries, historical documentaries. Just have a genuine interest to learn. And the more you learn, the more you realize, wow, there's so much I don't know. And that gives you this sense of curiosity when you talk to people. If you've ever had a conversation with someone that's just eating up everything you say, they're like, deep into what you're saying, it not only makes you feel good, but you also like, wow, this person has a genuine, like they're very interested in what I'm saying, and they have a genuine interesting, versus how do you feel when you're speaking to someone that's cutting you off, that you're saying something, they're making it about them, they're redirecting everything back to them, they're not letting you finish your sentences, they seem to wait till you're done talking just so they can respond, but they weren't really listening, they weren't interested, they weren't engaged, right? You can always tell the difference between those two type of people, and the smartest person will always be the person that actually people feel like you're engaged, you're not cutting me off, you're letting me finish my sentences, and then you're providing good feedback to what I'm saying, which shows that you are listening. You're repeating back what I was saying to you, right? So number 3 is you are strategic with which rooms you're even at. Like the psalmist say, I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of wickedness, right? Depending on the room you're in, it's better to be a server inside of a room full of innovative, wise, wealthy, and spiritually elevated people than to be in a room full of ignorance with no future or substance, right? Many trophy wives found love as a waitress inside of powerful dining halls where they served drinks to the elite. Many bellboys and drivers became rich from one moment of exposure in the right place. Mariah Carey became famous from handing her tapes to Tommy Mottola in a party she was a guest at. Michael Clark Duncan was a bodyguard on Living Single for the castmates, and the castmates encouraged him to pursue acting, and he became iconic, right? How many artists became famous because they knew to give their mixtapes to the right people and to go to the right parties? Be strategic with which rooms you are in, avoid clubs, and explore places that's actually going to get you somewhere, right? In this part, a lot of people get a little upset when you tell them to be strategic about things. Oh, you're manipulating the system, this and that. No, in all areas of life, the wealthy know it. People who have become something know it. So don't fall for this, just be yourself and go where you want to go, have fun, be lit, don't worry about all this. The most successful people in life know that where they go matters. Where they go matters. You would not catch them. You would be dead before you catch them somewhere that is clean, right? It can ruin your whole reputation. I'm talking about the ultra wealthy, right? That's why they pay top dollars to get rid of scandals and have PR teams, even though they're not celebrity. Even the wealthy, you'll be surprised how many people just here in Florida, people that aren't famous, they're on our magazines and stuff, they have a lot of money and they stay in affluent neighborhoods like Windermere or stuff, and they hire PR to help them, to help their image consultants, etc., to get rid of scandals for their kids, if their kids get in trouble with the law, etc. They befriend lawyers, they befriend doctors, they befriend judges, and this is why they can get away with things, because they networked with these judges. And then we, the regular population, who's hearing everybody tell you just be yourself, don't be strategic about anything, just live life, we always feel like the justice system is not fair or this is not fair, because we refuse to network and kind of play this game of, okay, it's good to have a variety of friends and be friends with the local sheriff and be friends with the local fire department. Do you even know the name of one person that works in your fire department? How many cops do you know? Are you friends with? Do you know your local judge, who it is? Do you frequent these places where they eat, where they're at, making small talk, etc., trying to be at those different environments? Those things can make a difference. And this is why you should be strategic in what room and space that you're in, right? And you should avoid going places where it's going to give you nothing but headache and trouble, and it's going to give you nothing but friends that will not do anything for you, and you can't do anything for them. You guys are not elevating. Y'all gonna be in the same cycle. year in and year out. So being the smartest person in the room is also being a strategic person to even know which rooms to be in. Okay. Number 4 is research the people you're going to meet. For example, before going to a party you are invited to, do you not ask who's all going to be there? And depending on who's there, you make a quick assessment if it's worth you going or not. It's the same thing. If you're going to a higher level space, it's okay to research and look up the people that's going to be in attendance. This can keep you safe to avoid certain radical personalities. You know, if you're a woman, certain men to not talk to, etc., and avoid certain faux pas and conversations that may be triggering for the people you actually do want to meet. For example, you befriend this glamorous woman who unfortunately just lost her husband in a tragic way. It's probably not needed upon the first meeting to start gloating and blushing about your upcoming wedding to this woman, right? She just lost her husband. Researching the room you're in gives you an advantage on how to best approach each individual, how to dress and how to behave. Based on who's going to be at an event, you determine how you're going to dress, right? Or what type of event it is, doing a little bit of research in the spaces that you're even going to. Before I even go to a restaurant with my girlfriends, like we're having a girls' night, we will look up the type of restaurant, what's the rules, how do you dress, what's their late policy, what type of people frequent there, because you don't want to come and you underdressed or you're overdressed. You know, you want to come in just right. Okay. But when in doubt, it's better to always overdress than underdress. I don't even care if it's McDonald's. I'm doing too much. But no, you don't want to come overdressed to a function. Oftentimes we'll do that if you're traveling. Like when you're a tourist in a country, you're usually overdressed for most places because you're a tourist, it's your first time there, you want to take pictures, especially if you're a girl. We'd go to restaurants where we're the only ones wearing heels, we're the only one dressed up. Everyone else is kind of wearing sweats and raggedy pants. Do your research on certain things like that. You know who's really good at this? Gold diggers are really good with this, okay? They will research the type of man, what their net worth is, where they live, how many wives they have before they even get to that spot. But in the terms of business and success, I'm telling you, if that is your game to network for your business, to find sponsors, etc., it helps you in the business world. Don't just look at it as something to use when you're finding a spouse, okay? Or your man, or you're dating, or your girl. No, use this as a business mindset, okay? It's going to get you very, very far. Number 5 is make an effort to remember names and remember key details of different individuals in the room. Even if you have to write things down on your phone, nothing sucks more than having a great conversation with wonderful people and you can't even recall their name. I've had friends that met great people in great settings for opportunities, and you know what tripped them up? Not remembering the name. Not remembering the name. At the end of the day, it was pointless. All these new friends you made, these new conversations, connections, but you can't remember the name even to speak to them, or you're checked out while they're talking. You go in there not really interested in getting to learn people, having a genuine curiosity. You're just doing, maybe you're taking all these tips or books you read from How to Win Friends and Influence People, and you're going in there, you know, not really genuine, not really feeling it, that someone is talking to you, giving you their whole life story, details about them, and you can't even remember it at the end of the day, let alone remember their face or their name. It's pointless. You didn't network efficiently. It's good to remember the name. Even if you didn't get the number, you have the name, you can find them on social media, you can kind of network with them if it's business, find out their companies, etc. It's always good to remember people's names. So make an effort for that, and it shows a sign of respect. It shows a sign of like you giving the person the utmost attention and respect that is talking to you, to give them the decency of remembering their names, because our names is very important to us. It's attached to us, right? When we hear our names, our ears perk up, right? Names is a very important, even if it doesn't matter to you, it matters to the person. And do try to make an effort to pronounce the person's name correctly. I know if you speak another language, especially for me, it can be very trippy to try to pronounce certain names, even when you have great intentions. You're always going to make that mistake. I get bullied for it on my other channel all the time for when I do my documentaries for messing up names, right? But really try, especially if it's a complicated name, find a way to make it easy, break it down, and always excuse yourself if you know you're about to massacre it, your tongue can't twist like that. Excuse yourself to the person, say, I'm so sorry. I'm making the effort to say your name, but do you have a nickname? Perhaps my tongue can't just twist like that. It's not my language or whatever. Most people are very polite to say, oh yeah, here's the way, oh don't mind. Most people just call me this or call me something that, you know, and in that way you can have kind of like a respectful repertoire with them. Number 6 is be kind to everyone, including the waiter, the cleaning staff, etc. Many people come up in life and recall just how rude others was to them when they were down. Remember that incident with Michael B. Jordan and that girl, right? That used to clown him. Now she had to interview him on the red carpet and he reminded her just how rude she was. Now imagine if she was actually kind to him. He probably could have opened doors for her.
Michael B. Jordan, the director and the star of Creed 3. And you know, we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
The corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say. I said we used to make fun of the name, but yeah, he is obviously killing things out here. Who's the sexiest man? Because now who's the sexiest man? Because I thought you said you're on the way up. He might be the one right now.
This is the one. This is the one right here. Yeah, let's see this.
So is it a tie?
Ain't no tie. We don't compete. Yeah, we don't compete.
Well, you're not corny anymore.
Many powerful people will put their friends and family on that. Always had their back since the beginning, even strangers. Being kind goes a long way. Avoid being obnoxious and too demanding on staff. They aren't slaves. And remember, life can change. You never know where you may be. Your kindness could be the difference in who lends you a hand or not. Always just genuinely treat people good. I do not care. You might be a little hesitant to be as opening or vulnerable or helpful to someone else, but this person just has a good history with you, okay? And there's so many celebrities that were waiting on other celebrities, you know, and then the celebrities was rude to them, maybe didn't want to take a picture or autograph, and then this person blow up and they're telling the story, and now that celebrity is dwindling off, or that musical artist, and nobody want to spend a block and work with you or highlight you or give you any kind of accolades to lift you up out of what you're going through, because you had a nasty personality. You were a nasty person and you were always involved in nasty situations, right? And word travels. People talk, word of mouth travels, where they're like, this girl, oh my goodness. But if you're genuinely nice to people, you might find that people could have heard something so nasty about you that wasn't true so many times. People would hear nasty things about me that weren't true, or I was this difficult person, whatever. And then just by the way I've been with them or dealing with them, it changed and softens their heart to where they go back to who they heard this stuff from, like, girl, that is not the case. And then people come circle back like, girl, I had the wrong idea of you, right? It's all about how you treat people, right? Think about that. But this is all I have for you guys. Comment below what other ways you think makes you the smartest person in the room. How else do you think you should behave in social circles? If you like these type of videos, don't forget to thumbs up and comment below that you want more of this type of videos. I love them. I'll be glad to help. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time. Mwah.